Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news in the midst of all the craziness that took place between Chelsea versus Benfica 4-1. There was a whole heap of drama that was happening off field. Jamie Bynoe-Gittens, ladies and gentlemen, is a here we go, and we are in hot pursuit to get Joao Pedro. So we're going to talk about all of this as well. If you've missed out on my match reaction, which I dropped earlier on today, a few hours back, do check it out. A crazy, insane match took place against Benfica in the Club World Cup. 2-hour delay, referee madness, red cards, 1-1. And then we absolutely bamboozled Benfica, embarrassed them. So do check out the match reaction for that. That video is literally live right now. So make sure you give that a watch and let me know what your thoughts were. Now, we're going to get nice and warmed up about all of this transfer business that's taking place. Now, a lot of you guys will ask me, Miz, what do you think about Jamie Bynoe-Gittens? What do you think about Jamie Gittens, man? Tell me more about Gittens. I've already told you guys how I feel about Gittens. We're going to go through the news very, very soon, but just to make everything nice and clear for everyone, on the record, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this for the very last time. I think Jamie Gittens, as I've always said, is a good player. He's a good player. There's something about him, but he's not the final product. He's not the finished product. He's got a lot of development that still needs to happen. My expectation as a fan, not what I'm seeing right now from the football club, but my expectation as a fan. Remember what I'm saying. Not based on what's happening. That's a different expectation. Seeing what Chelsea is doing and the kind of business that Chelsea is doing, looking at that and putting expectations on that, that's a separate thing. Me as a fan, I thought Chelsea Football Club, come on, man, we got Champions League football. Let's now try and compete for the Premier League title next season. Do our level best to compete in the Champions League. And I don't think Jamie Bynoe-Gittens, ladies and gentlemen, does that. He's not a needle mover. He's not someone who's going to help us win the Premier League title, compete for the Premier League next season, or even in the Champions League. But he's a good player. He's a good player. There's some chemistry, hopefully, that's going to be building with all the ex-academy players that we have, with all the people from the background, Joe Shields, Enzo Maresca, everyone that seems to know all of these ex-Manchester City academy players. Jamie Gittens is one of them as well. Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia, Delap, all of these people coming together as a unit, and hopefully that in itself can create a little bit of chemistry. A lot of hope and belief is that he's going to turn out to have that Cole Palmer-esque type of that season that Cole Palmer has had. Now everyone's complaining about Cole Palmer because he's dropping stinkers. Now that's a separate issue. So look, all I will say is that I wish him all the best, and I hope he develops into a monster. And I hope he can work hard and do well at Chelsea Football Club. We're all going to support him, of course. He's going to be a Chelsea player. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope he really, really does produce a lot of goals, assists, and truly helps the team to elevate to the next level. I'm hoping and I'm praying for that. So let's see what happens. Keen to see. One thing I will say about Jamie Gittens, ladies and gentlemen, that he only wanted to join Chelsea Football Club. Bayern Munich apparently were trying to hijack this deal, but he only wanted Chelsea, and that goes a long way. When a player truly wants to be at a football club, hopefully that can translate into his performances for us down the track. Now, let's have a look at the news. It's a here we go. Fabrizio Romano breaking Jamie Bynoe-Gittens to Chelsea. Here we go. Gittens to Chelsea. Here we go. Deal agreed club to club with Borussia Dortmund. Contract until June 2032. What's that? 7-year deal for Jamie Bynoe-Gittens, who always wanted Chelsea. I understand medical will take place tonight for Jamie, so that this news is obviously later. Tonight would have already finished up, right? BVB accepted last bid as Fabrice Hawkins reports. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, how much is this deal worth? We're going to get to that. Understand Jamie Bynoe-Gittens starts his medical as new Chelsea player now after authorization from Dortmund. There you go. He's already going through, or I'm pretty sure he's already done his medical by now. Done deal. Fantastic. Chelsea will pay transfer fee close to 55 million for Jamie Bynoe-Gittens. The contract will be valid until 2032. So 55 million, look, that's probably a bit too much. If I'm being absolutely honest, a player like Jamie Gittens, probably should have been worth somewhere around 40 million to 45 million. As I said, there's so much still that needs to be developed. But, English player, somewhat done well. And Dortmund, of course, his trajectory is on the right path. And, coming back, well, coming to the Premier League, English player, there's a little bit of tax on that, being young, having that potential, all of that includes taxation. So hopefully this 55 million, we're going to look back after 12 months, after 24 months down the track, we're going to look back and we're going to think that, look, yeah, that's petty change. The player's now worth 120 million, 130 million. Hopefully one day he turns out to be like that. So let's hope for the best. And we needed a winger. We needed a winger, not the kind of winger that I would have gone for. I would have gone for a ready-made, ready to rock and roll. But Chelsea Football Club, we just don't do this anymore. We're not about that. Do I like it? Of course I don't. Of course I don't, because this doesn't allow us to compete straight away. It's more development, and and you just never know how long some of the players that we've developed, how long are they going to stick around? You see what Arsenal Football Club's done. Nothing. All of this development for nothing. Look at the way Liverpool's bolstering. Look at the way Manchester City's bolstering. And you have to weigh it up. Are we anywhere close to them? Probably not. Can we get close to them down the track? I don't know. Depends on how many players stick around with us, but we surely could have done it through the transfer window by getting ready-made players. Now, there's risks involved around ready-made players too. I'm not, shying away from those risks, but this path that we're going through, this path that we've selected, our owners and our directors, I've never seen a top club ever win anything with this model. So let's see, man. Let's see. All of the stuff that people said, get Champions League football and we're going to get all of these Champions League level players. I know Jamie Gittens have played Champions League, but I'm talking about creme de la creme, right? Like the way Liverpool's moving or the way Manchester City's moving. Did we really need Champions League football to get a player like Jamie Gittens? I think we could have got it even without Champions League football. But look, that aside, hopefully he does well, and I wish him all the best. That's all I'll say. 55 million, probably a bit too hefty. Jamie Bynoe-Gittens has completed main part of the medical as new Chelsea player as planned. 55 million deal done, which is fantastic. And hopefully he's not going to be able to feature for us in the Club World Cup because he was already registered by Dortmund. We're just going to have to make do with what we have for Club World Cup and try and go through all the way and win it. But come next season, we do need wingers. No Sancho, no Mudryk. All of those guys are going to go, and who knows, maybe some more players are going to leave as well. By then, Madueke is a big question mark. Someone like Jamie Gittens was definitely needed. I can reveal that Bayern Munich tried to hijack the deal and convince Gittens with important money, but Gittens wanted Chelsea and spoke to Maresca. Fantastic. Maresca wanted him, or might have known him from the Man City Academy days. As I said, hopefully that chemistry can build into something fruitful. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Jamie Gittens to Chelsea Football Club is a here we go. What do you think? How you feel? Do you think he will help us to elevate to the next level? Now, Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro, a lot of people talking about Joao Pedro. This news materialized probably a couple of months ago, the link with Joao Pedro. And a lot of people have been a bit upset about this link. Me personally, I've said it from the get-go, even from before. This player, I don't mind. Is not a player that I would have thought about. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking Champions League-esque level type of players. Joao Pedro is someone I wouldn't have thought about, but I don't disregard. He's another one who's not a needle mover, but he's a good player. I watch a lot of Brighton. A lot of people know this. After Chelsea Football Club, I probably watch a lot of Brighton, right? And not just recently, I've watched Brighton in previous years, all the way back from Graham Potter time. But of course, recently with Joao Pedro there, he's a very good player. He's a versatile player. He can play up front. He can play as a number 10. He can play in the half spaces. He can play out wide. He's a very good player. He's a combative player. He's a gritty player. He's got that dog in him. He's Brazilian. That's probably sometimes good, sometimes bad, because Joao Pedro, the attitude at times can be a problem. And this is why he's fallen out with Brighton and Hutzela, because of the attitude and all sorts of nonsense that was going on over there. And now he's pulling out of Brighton. Now, Joao Pedro, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen him way back from Watford days. I was following this player from Watford days. I was watching Watford because of Joao Pedro, and he was doing well. And, he's still a young player, Back then, he was a lot younger and he showed lots of raw talent. Now he seems a little bit more polished. I don't mind this. As I said, it wasn't a player that I thought about from the get-go, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it one bit. I think he will definitely help us. He will definitely help us. He's Premier League proven, and he can fit into many different areas of the field, which is needed. Sometimes Delap needs a little bit of help up front. You can put Joao Pedro along with Delap. Sometimes you may need him as a number 10, maybe Cole Palmer out wide. Who knows? Whatever the case is, we tried a different formation, a different philosophy against Benfica. I don't know, a lot of you guys have noticed. 3 at the back with Reece James, RCB, Levi Colwell in the middle, Benoit Badiashile as LCP, who ended up getting injured. And then we played with Cucurella as the wing back, Pedro Neto on the ball, by the way. This is not off the ball, on the ball. Pedro Neto was the widest player. Cucurella was the widest player. And then Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez were the inside forwards with Delap up front. And then the 2 midfielders, you've got Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. So Joao Pedro, when you look at that system, can fit in many areas, half space, out wide, up front. So this is why I think a player like Joao Pedro is being favoured. And don't forget, Brighton, we've got a relationship with Brighton. And that goes, this is probably another big reason why we are going for Joao Pedro, because we want to help Brighton now. We are their biggest, we are their best, we are their best customer. Chelsea Football Club are Brighton's best customer. Even Brighton owner has said this. On top of that, you never know, man. Maybe we're trying to build a Brazilian headquarter at Chelsea Football Club. Joao Pedro, Andre Santos, hopefully he sticks around. Estevar Willian coming next season. A bit of Brazilian flavor that's building here. And we bought that left back as well, young left back, Brazilian left back. So, look, let's see. Looks like it is going our way now. Newcastle have been on hot pursuit of Joao Pedro, but looks like Joao Pedro only wants to join us as well. So this is, once again, good news. And as I've said, I don't mind this player. I think this player is a very, very nifty player that will definitely help us as well. Joao Pedro has rejected Newcastle's offer to him. Chelsea are there and have had a bid rejected. Brighton won 60 million. So we already had a bid rejected. Now we're probably going to offer a bit more. As I said, some of our Brighton, personnel that we have at Chelsea Football Club are pushing for him. Sam Jewell being one of them, if you guys remember. Sam Jewell, I believe, head of scouting or something like that, something in the hierarchical position, is going after Joao Pedro, and Paul Winstanley as well, being from Brighton. Chelsea are pushing hard for Joao Pedro, which is a bad news for Newcastle. There's also confidence that Chelsea they're in a better position to do a deal. This coming from MSI Douglas, Newcastle source. So Newcastle, look, if they'd got Joao Pedro, I think that would have been nice because they got Isak, they've got Anthony Gordon. Joao Pedro would have really added a lot more spice to all of that. If we can, get that away from them and bring Joao Pedro to us, why not? More on Chelsea being fully involved in Joao Pedro deal as reported. Talks taking place as Chelsea remain interested since start of June, and Joao as next target after Gittens done. Chelsea are there. Newcastle have been pushing for weeks. So sad, Newcastle. So sad. Chelsea are in active talks and are working on Joao Pedro. They're not giving up on this one and believe he's a very interesting player that can cover lots of positions. Chelsea is getting serious for this player, coming from Fabrizio Romano as well. And last but not least, on this same player, Sam Jewell. There you go. Sam Jewell, ladies and gentlemen, who was ex-Brighton, now obviously at Chelsea, bought Joao Pedro to Brighton and is now a Chelsea director. There you go. Jewell has been influential in Chelsea's push for Pedro, and there's confidence the player will choose Chelsea if a fee can be agreed. Look, once you get this close to a player and the player really wants us, and it seems like a lot of people from our, in the back office staff members, the directors, Sam Jewell and this, that, when they start wanting a player and it feels like it's going to happen. And it feels like the player is a bit of a need for Chelsea as well. No, not necessarily this player, but that a player in terms of versatility to be able to fill in many different positions seems to be a need for Chelsea Football Club. So Joao Pedro, I don't mind. I've seen a lot of him. He's a very good player. And he's only going to hopefully keep getting better, Premier League proven. As I said, very combative and very, very skillful player. So I don't mind him. Not a name that I was thinking off the top of my head, but I don't mind him. I think he will help us improve. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about Jamie Gittens. Here we go. And Joao Pedro looks like that is the next player that we're going for. Hopefully, we can build up a nice team next season. I know a lot of people will say, well, Joao Pedro, what's the difference between Nkunku, Joao Felix? Look, those guys, we're over them. We're over them. We're going to move on from them. And now we're hopefully going to bring in some new blood. Smash up the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. And if you haven't seen the match reaction, post-match reaction of Chelsea 4, Benfica 1, crazy match, 2-hour delays, unbelievable scenes, totally embarrassed them at the end. Check out that video, which was dropped a few hours ago. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, take care. See ya.